Alright, hey guys, what's going on? So today I am excited because today I'm going to be talking about these new Truman Boots here in black chamois. And let me start out by saying that this is the second pair of boots that I've ever owned in chamois leather, and it's one of the leathers that I'm actually most intrigued by. I love chamois in almost every single color that I see it in, and it's kind of hard to describe. It's from what I understand, it's a rough out that's heavily oiled. It's a fascinating leather because it's so cool to the touch because it's a heavily oiled. Online, a lot of sources compare it to like a nubuck or a suede. But yes, it is heavily oiled, which means that you basically never need to condition these. In fact, my Alden Roy boots from Context Clothing are in a color called brown chamois. One of my favorite pair of boots. I've only conditioned them once in the probably 5 or 6 years that I've owned them. And you can tell when they need conditioning because they'll start to kind of look a little dingy, a little dried out, but you seriously almost never need to condition these things. That's one of the things that I love about this. The second thing that I really love about this black chamois in particular, this is just based off my observations, is that it's completely struck through. So what that means is as some of the upper starts to wear off and expose underneath, it's black all the way through. And so it will always be black. Whereas my other Truman boots in black chrome excel, as those have started to wear down, you can kind of see the areas. As soon as the upper layer of the leather starts to wear off, it exposes like a natural color. So it's not completely struck through. This black boot is blacker than black. This is like a charcoal black. That'll lead me to my next point actually, which is there's a few different names for this specific leather from what I can tell. Truman calls it black chamois. Viberg actually calls it charcoal chamois. And I think charcoal is another good name for it because like I drink activated charcoal, for example, and I know how black that stuff is. It's so black that, you know, you almost can't see it. It's so dark. It's almost like a black hole, like no light escapes it. That's kind of like the blackness of these boots. These boots are so dark that unless you're in bright sunlight, it's hard to really get a good look at the character of the leather because it's so dark, it's so black. It's blacker than any of my other black boots. For example, like my Truman boots in black bison, they're black technically, but you still get a lot of sheen coming off of them, you know, because there are areas of the boot that are smooth, whereas this, it's a rough out, and so that already sucks in the light and it doesn't reflect light anyways, like a traditional chrome XL or a smooth calfskin leather or something like that. They're smooth, they bounce the light off of them, they can be really shiny. This is not like that at all. This is like just an abyss of darkness. I love it. It's such a cool stealthy color. And then for the sole, we have this Vibram sole. It's not a lug commando sole. It's like a Vibram 430 full sole. It's sort of a light tread sole, you might say, but I like that it's flat. I think the flatness of it really accentuates the overall shape of the boot. I think it's just beautiful. Yeah, so we got cap toe here. We've got, yeah, the eyelets are a nice contrast as well. I probably would have preferred gunmetal eyelets, but I really like this matte brass eyelet color that it has going on. And then these laces here, actually, Truman included some black round cotton laces as well as some brown rawhide laces, which I really love. Those are some of my favorite laces. But I saw that Viberg, they ran what's called the Scout boot or the Scout Stealth boot or something like that, and they threw the black rawhide laces in there. And I think that the black rawhide laces, the texture of them is very similar to the chamois leather, and that it's kind of fuzzy, kind of like a rough out. And the same with the laces. The laces have sort of a rough out feel. One side of them is smooth, but the other side is rough. And so obviously that's going to go perfect with these boots. And so keeping in line with like the overall look of these, I think they really look good with the black rawhide laces. From what I see in black boots, you know, they're just kind of a standard black boot. This is not a standard black boot by any means. And in fact, what prevented me from getting these to begin with was the fact that I have another pair of black cap toes, which are my Truman boots in black chrome excel. But again, the more you get into boot collecting, the more you get into understanding different leathers, you know that this is all about nuance, and these are nothing like my black boots in black chrome excel. Seriously, nothing alike. The texture, obviously, this is has a rough out going on, whereas the chrome excel ones are smooth. But still, like even beyond that, like as they wear, they're gonna patina completely differently. The look couldn't be any more different. in my opinion. I mean, they're just so, they're just completely different. So these actually sold out on the Truman website, unfortunately, so I'm not able to pull up the original description, but Truman still has natural chamois available to buy on their website, and so that gives me a little bit of an indicator. I'm a little confused about chamois leather because not a lot is actually known about it. The initial research that I was doing actually showed that chamois comes from sheep or lamb skin. I could tell this comes from the Horween tannery, similar to my Roy boots in brown chamois, because they have the same smell. You know, the way that the leather smells, you could kind of tell where it comes from. And I can tell that this particular leather came from the Horween tannery. And judging by the description on Truman's website of the natural chamois, I believe that it is from the Horween tannery. So it says that chamois is a soft, supple, oil and wax stuffed cowhide leather in the realm of nubuck or suede with a shorter nap. And Truman lists the natural chamois as coming from the Horween tannery. So I'm almost 100% sure that this is also Horween. Truman posted these on their Instagram, and it says, introducing the Black Chamois Rough Out. A structured cap toe will keep it for the long haul, while the Vibram 430 full sole ensures some comfort and traction. I really like the look of this not being on the lug commando sole, because I think it just adds to the overall smooth profile. It would still look really good with a lug commando sole, but I really like that they picked the Vibram 430 full sole for this. And yeah, so on the HELM's website, they actually describe chamois leather. So it says chamois or chamois leather is known for its soft hand, slight nap, and water absorbency. This has made it a common material for polishing cloths, but in shoes, its penchant for moisture is usually offset by a heavy dose of wax and oils. This makes chamois a hard-wearing option that also doesn't require shining. And yeah, so if you're not particular to being a shoe shiner like me, that this is also a fantastic choice. And on the Auntay website, which I'm actually not too familiar with, Auntay, AUNTAY.com, they talk about the Horween Wax Flesh Rough Out and Reverse Chamois. The three Horween leathers with such resilience, they will accompany you to even the world's end. Wax Flesh, Rough Out, and Reverse Chamois. These leathers won't need any conditioning for a long time. Yes, that's true. The wax makes the Rough Out very resilient to rain, scuffs, and other elements. And yeah, that's totally true. Sometimes I get a question like, how are you going to care for this leather long term? This stuff in particular, you do not need to even think about that for like the first 5 years. It's kind of like in the wine industry. A lot of wine consumers have this impression that some wines you want to let them age. Any modern wine producer will tell you that our wines are meant to be drank now. Like, you buy them, take them home, drink them. Don't age them necessarily. There are certain wines that, yeah, you can do that with, but that actually gets more into the esoteric areas of wine drinking and being a wine connoisseur. But 99% of wines that are made today are made to be drank now. Similar to that, I would say that most all the leathers that come out of the Horween tannery, they're so highly conditioned at the Horween tannery that you don't need to even think about that for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, they're meant to be worn, they're meant to be worn daily, and they're meant to be worn hard. The people at the Horween tannery, they've been doing this for so long that now they understand it's down to a science, essentially, how to create a leather that needs as little maintenance as possible. Probably back in the old days, or when you're dealing with like really cheap leathers, then yeah, you probably want to understand how to condition and treat them to improve the longevity of the leather. But for like a tannery like Horween, like real leather experts, you don't need to take additional steps as a consumer. I guess that a lot of consumers go into this with some misconceptions. One of those misconceptions, like with wine, is that you need to let it age, but that's not true. And I think one of the misconceptions with boots is that you need to treat them periodically, and that's also not true. You do not need to treat these probably for the first 3, 4, 5 years, to be honest. The leather, and this is just my own sort of dorky observation, the leather, when it's ready to be conditioned, it will ask you to condition it. You can tell. It'll start to look just a little dingy or a little dried out, just a little neglected, and then that's when you want to condition them. But you don't want to even think about conditioning something like this for years, I'm telling you. Lefaux actually says that chamois is an oiled nubuck that's water resistant and very soft. Paired with crepe or Vibram soles, these shoes are perfect for wet, nasty days. And Viberg, actually, they use Horween's chamois as well. They say that Horween's chamois leather has become a favorite for us. The versatile material looks great when used on both its smooth and rough out sides, and the heavily oiled finish creates a protective barrier against the elements. It's an extremely low maintenance leather that requires very little break-in and is typically comfortable from day one. Yes, it is. Long story short, I'm very happy with these. I actually bought some tiger stripe camo pants to go with these. Withered Fig actually ran some Vibergs in charcoal chamois, and in the pictures they show the model is wearing tiger stripe camo with their charcoal chamois boots, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, I'm not the type of guy that wants to wear camouflage really, but I gotta say these look so incredibly badass with some camouflage pants. And so up till now I've been wearing them with my my more olive drab colored pants. As soon as things open back up, I'm actually gonna get my tiger stripe camo pants taken to the tailors because they're just huge. They're just, the leg opening is way too big. I would never wear them as they are. And then once they're tailored, I'll start wearing them with these boots. I think that they just look incredible. It's probably one of the nicest boot pant pairings that I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest. Right, so now it's time for my shoutouts. I want to bring your attention, if you're not already following these people on Instagram, this is something that I want to start doing. Start giving shoutouts to some accounts that I've been seeing that I really think I can relate to in a lot of ways. They're putting out content that I appreciate. As an Instagrammer, as a YouTuber, these are the accounts that I really love. These are some new up-and-coming accounts that I think are just like me in a lot of ways. The first one is going to be... So the first one's going to be my friend Dave at Boots of Mannish Leather. He's pretty new, but already he's hit the scene, and he's hit the scene running. He posts, he's got some Vibergs, he's got a lot of good stuff from the Horween Tannery. Most particularly, he actually did an interview with Parkhurst. I went through the whole thing. It's an hour and 15 minutes long approximately. He went and he interviewed Andrew Svisco on his YouTube page. So he has a YouTube page called The Vintage Future, and it's a very good interview. And I just want to mention that I've been talking to Dave a lot more one-on-one recently, and he has done a lot of really good interviews. He's interviewed Wyatt from Grant Stone. In fact, he was the one that inspired me to reach out to Wyatt to see if Wyatt would do an interview with me on my channel, to which he agreed a couple months ago. So my apologies, I actually did record this video a few months ago, so this video is a little bit outdated, but yes, since the time I recorded this video, Dave has done interviews with Brett Viberg. He did an interview with Thursday Boots. He did an interview with Mark Albert Barbera of Mark Albert Boots, and many others, and he's a brilliant guy. He has a lot of really good insights. He's a younger guy, but ultimately, I think he comes with a really fresh perspective, and I've told him this before, you know, he challenges me constantly intellectually when it comes to boots and different leathers and things, and he has really good observations, and I've told him this directly personally. So I really think that if you guys enjoy my content, that you would definitely enjoy his content as well. So I'm gonna actually leave a link to that video in the description below. So if you want to watch the interview with Parkhurst, definitely a great interview. If you're into American-made boots and nice boots, I would definitely go check out that interview because he actually did a really good job interviewing, much better than I could have done. Boots of Mannish Leather, go check him out. He's a very good interviewer, asked some very good questions, and really kept the conversation rolling. So yeah, the next account that I wanted to give a shout out to was Boots Whiskey Cigars. I've been following this guy for a while. His name is Marcus. He says he's just a married dude, father, veteran with a few hobbies looking to share with like-minded folks, Semper Fi. But yeah, he's got an incredible boot collection. He's got the Truman Boots in Cognac Shrunken Bison, very nice. He's got a lot of Vibergs. Let's see, he's got Whole Cut Beaver Fur Vibergs, some Flame Pandas, very nice. He's just got an incredible boot collection. Yep, he's got the Trumans in Black Shrunken Bison. He's got some engineer boots, which eventually I may be planning to get some engineers, marbled shell engineers. Very, very nice. But yeah, he's just got an incredible boot collection. I'm very envious of it. He's got a Flame Panda, natural veg tan boots. Wow, very cool. And yeah, he's just got so many pairs of boots, very similar to my collection, I would say, but maybe even a little bit more diversified than my collection because, you know, yeah, he's got indies. Because I more or less kind of stick to 4 brands. It looks like he's branched out a lot. It looks like he's got some Sagara Indonesian boots. Looks like some Cowboy boots here and there maybe. Looks like some natural wax flesh. But yeah, anyways, go give him a follow. Boots Whiskey Cigars, great Instagram account if you're into boots. And the last but not least is Shoe Nabler. I've been following this guy for a while. He's got an amazing collection of boots. Let me tell you what, he's got a lot of rare stuff. He's got a lot of rare Viberg shell cordovan. He's got some Grantstone shell cordovan. He's got a lot of Aldens. Just an amazing account. I mean, I'm super envious of his collection as well. Oh, he actually also has some Viberg boots in charcoal chamois, very similar to these. He's got an amazing eye for taking pictures of boots. He's always got the right angle going on. He's a really good photographer, really knows how to show off the boots, and really creative. He does mix it up a lot. He's got a really great style for how he sort of shows off his boot collection. So again, that's another great boot Instagram account. So if you don't follow him yet, go give him a follow because he's always putting out great stuff. All right, so anyways, that's going to do it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. I am on Instagram if you want to follow me there. My username is AeroSurferLV. And anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.